We headed over to We Are Social for the Influencer Marketing Masterclass, and we heard from a few industry experts there just about the best practice for influencer marketing, any pitfalls that brands often fall into. And then at the end we actually got a chance to catch up with two of the speakers there. So we caught up with Florencia, who is the Influencer Marketing Manager at We Are Social, and also Lauren Spearman, who is the Digital Manager at Benefit. And we just got a few of their insights about the best practices and how they use influencer marketing in a successful way.
Firstly, micro-influencers have 8 times more conversations about brands online than mega-influencers. Mega-influencers is anyone that's kind of classified as over a million followers. So granted, the scale is very different, but it shows that they're really open to talking about brands. If they're talking about it that often, chances are that there's a better chance of you kind of being mentioned by them. They also have a really highly engaged audience. So recent insight from Experticity showed that people with between 1 and 10,000 followers have an average engagement rate on their content of between 4 and 8%. When you compare that to mega influencers, which is between 1 and 1.7%, again, the scale is very different, but it just shows that they are talking to a very engaged audience. And if they're kind of talking about your brand, then their audience want to hear about that. There's a tendency to think that with influencers, it's really expensive. At Benefit, we don't pay any influencers. Everything we do is organic, and that obviously will change. With micro-influencers, it can be really, really cost effective. You can do stuff with small budgets or even no budget. So I guess when it comes to choosing influencers, approach it how you would dating. Don't be desperate. Check that you're the right fit for each other. Ask questions of yourself and show that you're really invested in your brand and what's best for you. But yeah, kind of do your homework before settling down with the right influencer.
At Benefit, we split our influencers into 3 tiers.
Yeah.
So we have the influencers that I guess we call our lower tiers, so they're like 5 to 100,000 followers, and they fall under our Friends of Benefit program. Then we have our kind of middle tier that, we'll take them for coffee or we'll go for lunch and we'll do them product sends and occasional events, but not too much more than that. And then we have our top tier, which are the ones that they're kind of the untouchables, that we'll send them product, but realistically, unless you pay them, we're not really going to get in there. So, we want to be on their radar, but it's so much harder to get organic content from them than it is the kind of lower tier.
Yeah. They want to have the creative freedom, don't they?
Yeah,
to write what they want in their posts.
Yeah, and I think when you get to such a large following, you can be a bit pickier with who you work with, whereas especially if you're just starting out, you want to work with as many people as you can.
And especially with a brand like Benefit, I feel like it's very easy to get advocates and...
Yeah, like I totally don't take for granted the fact that we are so lucky and that people do want to work with us, and I won't lie, like we use it to our advantage when we're kind of negotiating stuff. But yeah, I think even for a startup, there's definitely value in looking at the kind of smaller guys to build your advocacy.
Yeah, looking what value your product can have for them.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people selling on behalf or managing influencers that are kind of charging ridiculous amounts and just kind of chancing their arm. I think with the introduction of like better reporting and people being like, right, we need to actually show if this is working, I think there's going to be a change. I think a lot of influencers aren't going to be able to command the amount of money because brands are going to get smarter. It feels like there's a bubble that's about to burst. It's like, actually, we've got to take this a bit more seriously than like, isn't this amazing? Let's just throw money at someone to like shout about us on Instagram. So with influencers and social media in general, like it's not a sales tool. It's very much awareness. It might help your purchase intent, but how often does it really drive direct sales? Like I know, I've just bought a flat and I follow loads of interiors, and I will always screen grab stuff and I'll notice it, but it's not necessarily going to as soon as I see it driving to purchase. It might take me 6 months before I buy that. I think Benefit's quite a forward-thinking company because we've never done above the line stuff, and I previously sold digital advertising, so I've been quite an advocate for that. But people still watch TV, they still rather tube, they still go on the bus or still go to cinema, but they just consume less of that than they probably do. Especially with like dual screen, like who watches TV and like never gets their phone out or hasn't got TV advertising. Even the stats on that, like It's just like, X Factor's watched by 1 million people, but the tool they use to measure that is Barb, which is like 3,000 homes in the UK. They're trying to represent like 60 million people. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think brands need to be a bit smarter in there was I will not name names, but there was a makeup company recently, and it was so cringe. On the same night, like 20 girls posted on Instagram pretty much the same photo that they'd obviously been briefed. And the copy, like they'd obviously been sent it by the client, it was literally just copy and paste. And it's like, why on earth do you
People are going to be so, they're going to see it because it's not going to be
But
how they write usually.
Yeah, and they'll just think it's naff. Like, there was, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was an example recently, this girl had a huge following, and every single caption on her Instagram photo was like no more than like 4 words, and then she did sponsor post and it's like a paragraph. So it's like, well, of course people are going to wise up
And they
to
have
that.
all these hashtags as well, which just don't relate to them at all, don't make sense that they're made to put in.
I think people have always don't get me wrong, we all hate everyone hates watching ads, but you're open to it.
Yeah.
But if only if it's done smartly.
No, definitely.
Not if it's just rammed down your
I need
throat.
to focus more on user-generated content and just stuff that's authentic and relevant and going to actually add value to the brand. But obviously, it's got to be a brand that has value itself.
Yeah, of course.
Which is where a lot of other brands struggle.
Yeah.
Trying to sell a fireplace using an influencer. It's a bit more difficult.
I am touching my Friday night drink on a fireplace. You can make it work.
So what would your message to other brands be? Just to actually listen to your consumers and the influencers themselves?
Yeah, definitely. Do your kind of homework as well. I spend my Friday afternoons, I try and dedicate to my kind of homework time where I'll watch a lot of videos and I'll go through Instagram, I'll be sat at my desk and I am working on this. But yeah, kind of investing that time because I think often brands will kind of try and get the biggest influencer they can find but not necessarily the best fit, and that's when it's really disingenuous and just
and you can tell.
Yeah.
It's like getting a fashion influencer to try and promote a phone or a car.
And if it doesn't fit, people don't buy into it, and it's like, why have you wasted your time and effort and probably money?
Yeah. Right, a few quick fire questions for you.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, Instagram versus YouTube.
Instagram.
Okay, celebrity endorsement, influencer marketing.
Influencer marketing.
Vloggers or bloggers.
Vloggers.
WeChat or WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Micro or hero.
Micro.
Nice.
Yeah, so YouTube and Instagram are 2 kind of big ones, and obviously Facebook, but Pinterest has kind of died a bit of a death for us, as has Twitter, because I think Twitter now for brands has just become a customer service thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, some brands are doing innocent, I love all their social stuff, and kind of Snapchat. As a brand, you can't track it, but you can't really.
Yeah,
it's really hard to find
to
people on there as well. And
measure.
with the likes of stories, why do you need Snapchat?
You see vloggers over bloggers.
Yeah, even for makeup.
I guess, for makeup that makes sense, right?
Tutorials.
Yeah, and also I think as a society we've got really lazy and we don't read words.
Yeah.
That's so true.
We're much more visual right now.
We think there is a big value of working with influencers because they are basically a way into creating really interesting, cool content that can make maybe outdated brands or brands that are struggling a little bit with social, make them culturally relevant again.
And how do you see influencer marketing evolving? Because obviously it's changed so much even within the last few years.
Yes.
How do you see it in the next few years?
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a bigger focus on measurement. Today, brands have maybe, 2 options, influencer 1 versus influencer 2. And sometimes brands choose one over the other because they feel the influencer is better at something than the other one.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that we're going to get to a place where those decisions are going to be a lot more rational and based on what influencer 1 and influencer 2 can deliver.
Yeah.
Which one is actually delivering better results, better engagement, who is actually driving sales, who is performing according to our KPIs.
Yeah.
So I think removing that emotional effect and that emotional side of the decisions is going to be an important one.
And how do you see influencer marketing fitting in with brands' marketing initiatives in general, so within paid media? Do you
Yes.
think that brands should be deploying more of their budget to influencer marketing than they do, or?
That ultimately depends on each brand.
Yeah.
There is no size fits all
No.
on this. I would say that right now influencer marketing budget is coming out of paid media, and I think there is a parallel there because we always talk about reach,
Yeah.
because we want to reach new audiences. Brands can be very smart about repurposing assets and kind of working with influencers as content producers as well.
Yeah.
But what is the right budget allocation or how you should do it, then that's specific for every brand. Instead of influencer marketing, this is more influencer advertising, what we're seeing, and I think there is a huge difference in that, because when the content doesn't feel authentic, when you know that they've been paid to copy and paste, that is advertising, that is not influencer marketing. Brands lack the cultural relevance that they used to have. I do believe that we as people who work in marketing, we are not right in our minds. I think that you cannot take ourselves as standard people who live their lives, because we are so immersed in this world where so many different words have meaning that outside of these four walls they don't actually have a meaning in real life. So as Lauren from Benefit was saying, and Sarah as well, both of them made a really good point about having your most loyal consumers also being part of your brand narrative. So I think that is
really important.
you can involve them in so many different ways, even in like product innovation. You can involve influencers who are consumers as well.
So now just a few quick fire questions of like sort of what you prefer. Instagram versus YouTube.
Instagram.
Okay, WeChat or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Vloggers or bloggers?
Ooh, vloggers, I would say.
Celebrity endorsements or influence marketing?
Influence marketing.
And micro versus hero influencers?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to say that they are good for many, many reasons.
But if you
many
had
different
to pick
reasons.
one.
I would say micro.
Well, thank you so much.
No
That was lovely
worries.
to meet you.